well, as bittersweet as it is, this is our last stop in the ride. Hey everybody, Passionate Panther here, and for this particular video I thought it would be fitting to use my real voice to start off this video, rather than putting up an introductory text. The reason why I decided to do it this way as a kind of a more sincere farewell, as to better explain my philosophy for this list, as well to help better explain why I decided to move on. But I'll save my overall thoughts as to why I'm putting this to the end for later. But for now, let's go over the rules of today's list. So for this list, I'm going to be completely honest with myself. These are all songs that speak to me personally and have some sort of value to me. Last time I did a top 100 Monstercat songs, I tried to evenly split it between Uncaged and Instinct. That way the album could feel a bit more diverse and wasn't just all instinct all the time. This time, however, I'm not going to do that. If this is going to be a capstone, I want it to be a special one, and therefore, in order to do that, I need to strip away the idea of 50-50 between Instinct and Uncaged. So all of it will be completely songs handpicked by myself, no rules, no limitations, no nothing. There could be multiple songs by a particular artist on the list, there could be remixes, VIPs, you name it. If it's a song that means a lot to me, it goes on the list. And speaking of which, this was a very difficult list to me to make, because as much as I love going through some of the best, in my opinion, some of the best songs and the most memorable to me, there was even a 100 wasn't quite enough to really encapsulate the songs that really connected with me on the album. Not only, naturally, for going on for 10 years, there's going to be a lot of songs on the album that really speak to me personally, and therefore it kind of makes sense that there would be so much on the label that I have such sincere memories with, making it very difficult for me to choose which songs to put on the list, as well as which one to put over the other. The songs on the list mean so much to me, and therefore I wanted to strictly pick the songs that meant something to me. These are all songs that hold personal value to me in some form or another, whether it's getting me through a hard time, to help me discover who I am, to just resonating with me in some form or another. So therefore, this is not going to be an album of the quote-unquote best from a professional critical standpoint point of view. These are all just songs that I like, that I don't need some kind of critical analysis to be able to explain why I like it. If it's as simple as saying I like it because it means something to me, then that's what I'm looking for songs on this list. That's it. No technicalities, no over-analyzing, just songs that speak to me and me alone. That's it. And speaking of which, I figure I do things a little bit differently. Normally with honorable mentions, they just briefly mention them with very, very brief descriptions, or just put up a list of the songs that couldn't make on the list. This time, however, I'm not gonna do that. Because of how many songs that had to be left out of the list for the sake of keeping things quote unquote short, there are virtually a lot of songs that I wish could have made on the albums, and therefore, rather than just skimming them over, I'm going to actually go in them as in-depth as I am going to be doing for the rest of the songs on this list. So therefore, we're going to kick things off with the honorable mentions before we get to the main list. Like I said, I love these songs so much, so therefore just skimming them over would be doing it a complete injustice, in my opinion. So therefore, we're gonna jump straight into the honorable mentions before we head straight into the main list here. So yeah, enjoy a little bit of bonus content before the big chorus. that was a lot of honorable mentions, I am fully aware, but I think that just comes to show how many songs there are on this label that meant so much to me. Monstercat has, I think it's safe to say that Monstercat has played a pretty big role in my life, and it's kind of been a huge player in my personal taste in music and even things in general, influencing my creativity. And therefore, to me, it just makes sense to really do the songs on this label justice, to really get to the heart of what I love about them from a personal standpoint. But now that honorable mentions are pretty much out of the way, I guess we can go ahead and get onto the main course. I'm going through all 100 songs on this list, and stick around to the end because I will go into depth as to why I'm planning to put 8 rankings to an end and what I plan to do in the future. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, sit back and enjoy my 100 top favorite Monstercat songs of all time.
That we can make it through, but
So a quick upgrade drop in real quick to say that my number one spot is actually a tie. It's now 100 songs out on this list. It's 101 songs on this big 100 list. Comparing them side by side and thinking about how much they really mean to me and how much they connect with me, it was very difficult to choose just one over the other, and therefore I thought it was only fair to put them in the same spot together. So I kind of deceived you at the beginning there for a little bit, didn't I? So what are my two favorite Monstercat songs of all time? Well, see for yourself. So there you have it, my top 101 favorite Monstercat songs of all time, and plus all the honorable mentions that I couldn't quite squeeze into here. But however, as a little bit extra bonus content, because I can't track this long enough, neither Darling Midnight or The Fire are my favorite songs of all time. They're my favorite Monstercat songs, but not my favorite, period. And since this is a big capstone to this whole series of some of my favorite songs, I thought it would be kind of fitting to share my favorite Monstercat song ever. Not on the list, but it is my number one favorite song I've ever come across at any point in my life, and has stuck with me on such an emotional level that I just kind of wanted to share with you guys, and I hope you enjoy it too. So what's my favorite song? Well, take a look. And that's the last time I'm gonna stretch this out more than it actually needs to be stretched out. Cause I think I said everything I need to. I shared all my favorite tracks from the label, as well as a bonus non-Monstercat song, which you should check out. Trust me, it's that good. I think now is a good time to sit down and explain why I've stopped doing rankings and what I want to do moving forward. Well, to put it simply, when I make rankings, I often do them with the mindset of trying to do a balance between analyzing them from a critical standpoint, as well as prioritizing ones that connect with me the most compared to others. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying criticism or having an analytical point of view is bad. Criticism is very important, and it can help people improve their craft moving forward. But however, it's not quite what I want to do, and the reason for that is because that's not really how I look at music. I'm not the kind of person who really analyzes music through that kind of professional, critical standpoint, or try to pick apart all the different details and see how it makes a super complex, intricate, ooh, look how fancy my production skills are type of music. As you can probably tell from this list, I like to indulge myself in the more emotional stuff, and the reason for that is because that's the kind of music I can feel. I want to feel music rather than analyze it or try to break it down into different parts into from an analytical standpoint, because I can be kind of an analytical person sometimes, but I don't think that's really who I am at the core, and therefore and because of that, I don't feel my rankings are quite a representation of that part of me anymore. They've gone, the way I do rankings has become very analytical and choosing what song of the other, as well as the fact that, like, since it's a ranking, I'm obviously going to have songs on the bottom of my list, and I know I probably sound a little bit sensitive when I say this, but I don't exactly like to put out negative energy out there or rub people the wrong way with some sort of negative opinion on something that I may really like or may mean something very special to them. And if someone wants to say something negative about something, I much rather they say it themselves rather than expect me to get snarky about it or try to break it down into analytical ways and be like, oh well, the person who made this should have done like this because this is objectively how it goes from a professional critical standpoint. So the fact that the person made like this is not only lazy, but it's just a complete lack of understanding of how this artistry works. No, I don't want any of that, no. And that's not to say I don't like rankings anymore. I do like rankings. I love being able to see which songs connect to people the most over others, or what songs they like best over others, and having this wide range of opinions of people who like certain things for their own reasons. I'm obviously not going to agree with it, but it's still interesting to me, especially since music is such a subjective art form, and I think for reasons that are pretty obvious, if my stance on music hasn't made it kind of obvious at this point. But I don't know, and plus there's also the fact that, like, and there's also the fact that rankings are kind of banking off of other people's creations. Obviously, it's banking off of music that already exists and then trying to give an opinion on it. But I'm kind of the person who likes to make original things. I may make things that are a tribute to something, and a lot of stuff may inspire my own creations, but I think I just kind of have this urge to create original stuff, things that only I can make alone and nobody else. And I guess I kind of put some of that into my rankings, especially with the expressions, which I don't think anyone else has done, unless I'm mistaken, in which case do feel free to correct me on that, but I think you get the idea either way. I guess I just don't want to be seen as one of those kind of people who don't really look at the core value of something, who just wants to rather analyze something rather than connect with it, or to be in the moment, or to resonate with things around me. Especially since my views on music and really a lot of things in general has been shifting a lot lately, and that's a completely different story for another day. But just, I think to really summarize it, it's just that I just want to feel music rather than analyze it or try to take it apart and see, like, oh yeah, well, if you take a look at the drop and the BPM, and then how the melody is structured with the chords and the D minor aspect, blah blah blah, and especially considering that this is coming from someone who has, like, literally no experience with music production. I've tried it at one point, but I just could not get into it. I just want to feel the music. I know I sound like a broken record, but that's just the way, and probably the best way I can think to describe it. I just want to feel it. I just want to feel something, man. Like, the past few years have been kind of crummy. I just want to feel. I don't want to overthink things. I just want to be my own goddamn person. You know? I want to break free from this kind of cynical need to analyze things rather than embrace them. You know, maybe that sounds a little bit cynical, but I don't know, I just want to, like, let my mind go free, let it run wild, and feel things the way that I feel them naturally. And that's kind of why I'm stepping away from rankings, because that way I can start listening to music and enjoy them for how I enjoy them and how they connect with me as a person. And yeah, as I said, I probably sound like a broken record, and I apologize for that, but I guess that just kind of show how much stepping away from rankings is so important to me. And before I go, though, I do have a couple of things to say. First of all, thank you to everyone, all of the subscribers on this channel, everyone who supported me along the way. Thank you all so much for the support that you've given me throughout this journey. Like, even though I've maybe been a little bit cynical towards it, but I did enjoy the ride while it lasted, being able to explore music and to share my favorites with you all. It's been a fantastic ride because, quite frankly, I'm not sure how many people that I know in person quite like me just rambling on about electronic music, so I figure I should just make a YouTube channel and ramble about it to you guys. And the fact that you guys have been so supportive and so understanding about my personal tastes and willing to hear me out on so many of these, that means so much to me. And it makes me feel heard as a result, and I'm glad that I'm able to get you guys thinking as well about music too. I've gotten comments on my videos saying that my videos have been so thought-provoking for them, and I'm glad to hear that because that was kind of the point of it for a long time. So your support for this whole ride has been outstanding, and I'm really thankful for that. And if you want to keep supporting what I do, follow me on DeviantArt. Links in the description. I know this probably seems like a shameless plug, but art is really the big core. That's another factor I think I forgot to mention as well. This video isn't scripted or anything. I'm just going off of my head with this, but art is always going to be my top priority. I love music, don't get me wrong, and I love talking about it and sharing it with you guys, but I think where my real passion lies in terms of what I want to do, art all the way, digital art, the art that I post on websites and stuff, the speed arts that you've been seeing on the channel from time to time. That's what I want to put my heart and soul in. That's my big priority in life, and that's what I want to do as a living. That's my dream job. That's a dream job for me. It's my, well, excuse the pun, no pun intended here, but that's my passion. That's the thing. I feel like that's the biggest and best way I can express myself. And if I can share that with you guys and I can get some kind of reaction out of you guys for it, then that's gonna mean so freaking much to me. So I really do ask, if you can, and if you want to, do support my art. I'll leave the DeviantArt link in the description. I don't have a fur affinity because honestly, screw fur affinity at this point, but it's everything's in there, and I'll also leave my Instagram in there too because I know not everyone may want to use DeviantArt, but you get the idea. And so Instagram and DeviantArt are probably the two best places to follow me if you want to check out my art. And I'll occasionally post art related stuff here too, like the speed arts, and maybe even try to host some live streams, interact with you guys directly. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, that's going to be what I'm putting my focus into moving on from this point. And yeah, I think that's all I really have to say. Rankings are done. My journey here is pretty much finished in terms of talking about music, and then unless I change my mind in the future for whatever reason, or maybe if I decide to take a different path about this whole thing, which knowing me I could very well do, so don't consider this an absolute permanent farewell, but I think I'm done here. I'm finished. I've enjoyed the ride. I've had a good run, and I'm thankful for everyone who supported me along the way, everyone who decided to tag along and go on this journey for me. That's kind of what Monstercat's slogan has been for a long time, taking you on a journey. And the fact that we got to go on it together, and the fact that I was able to take the wheel and determine the path, that's been an awesome experience. And even though this is probably the last step, I don't think this is the end of our time together. I'm still gonna continue to create things. Again, check out my DeviantArt and everything, and the channel isn't totally dead, but it's gonna take a very different direction moving forward. So if you want to see that, and if you want to see me just pour my heart out into the things I curate, stick around, and I'd be happy to have you. In the meantime, I think I've said everything I need to say in this 12-minute rant at this point. This is way too long for a video that's probably going to turn out like 20 or 30 minutes, but yeah, I think I got my point across. Thank you all so much for all your support, and thank you for everyone who's going to continue to stick with me moving forward. I really appreciate it. And yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Thank you for sticking around for this long, and yeah, this is a very bittersweet moment for me. And it's kind of, I'm not even sure how to end this video, but other than saying thanks, and I'll see you on the other side. Thanks for watching. Passionate Panther is out for the last time. Peace.